stakeholders.
I think you made very important recommendations and observations, and we wish all the stakeholders, not just IEC, but political parties, the government, other civil society organizations, and citizens would take note of these things.
From the campaign period to the day of the election, the manner in which election 2011 was handled is amazing to experienced election observers like Fabakary Kale.
Well, I've been in the election business since 1996, from polling officer to presiding officer, and then out into election observation, monitoring, and to education, up to where we are today. And I think in my lifetime, I've not seen an election so, much anticipated by the people.
The participation ended after a landslide victory for the incumbent, the President-elect, His Excellency Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. AJJ Jammeh, and the 83% voter turnout is unprecedented in the history of presidential elections in the country. So what is responsible for the massive outpouring on Thursday?
Now they are aware. The awareness creation was high. Because as I told you, the media has done their part. The civil society has done their part. And they themselves know that it's their constitutional right to vote. Because it's like your vote is your power. Your vote is your voice. Then you can decide for your own country. Then you can speak for your country. But if you don't vote, you cannot just stand outside and say, this is free, this is not free, this is not fair. When you, as a person, did not even vote. So it's like people have understand that, and they know that they really know that they really need to come out and vote. And they come up massively to vote.
Well, 2 days before the presidential election, I sounded the opinion of the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission on why he said this year's presidential election was unprecedented.
The ground is level. This was not happening. When a political party contested election to be giving 30 minutes, and the campaign is free and fair. Before the campaign, I went round, talked to all governors and chiefs, so that no one will spot to conduct meetings, and this has happened. So everything is free. No one has anything to complain. If you win, people voted you in. If you don't win, people don't vote you. But don't say IEC.
Well, election 2011 is now history, and Gambians have spoken through the ballot box. In this reflective and introspective moment, many may be pondering on the way forward for the Gambia in the years to come. Ibrahima Balde, GRTS.
He was in the U.S. to cover the recent United Nations General Assembly, but despite the tight schedules, he was able to find time and discover Gambians making a name for themselves and the country as well in both the formal and informal sectors. Let's look at this report for more on Famara Fofana's inspiring discoveries.
Home to millions of immigrants from virtually all corners of the world. While some are there to pursue their educational dreams, there are countless others who visit Uncle Sam with the hope of bettering their lives. The Gambia is no exception. We visited Bronx, New York, where Jebel Cisse, a man from Batinjol, Nyamena East, boasts of a shop that sells jeans, shoes, and a tailoring outfit. Jebel, who left the Gambia in the year 2000, seems to be doing pretty well.
I worked couple of years, like maybe 3 years, and then, but my goal was to have my own business. So, thank God, 2 years, 3 years later, then I go myself, struggle until I get here today.
How is it? How is business going?
It's not bad. Okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's good. Now, all we hoping is if we can take the same thing back home. That's the main goal.
The United States of America is undoubtedly a land of vast opportunities. But if the words of Jebel Cisse are anything to go by, the United States is also not all about a land of honey and milk.
America is not like what they think. You gotta come. What we do here, if we do back home, we make it. Okay. That's the main thing. That's the thing. Okay. If we do the same thing that we do here, we will make it over there too. Okay. Yeah. It takes a lot to do. I mean, a little bit more opportunity. Okay. But if you don't work like a dog, you won't make it too. Okay. You won't make it. You gotta work, and work. Okay. That's what I was doing, 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. Okay. Sleep 2 hours, 3 hours the most. Yeah. Difficult. Couple of years, like, let me tell you, like 7 years straight.
Meet another Gambian in the passing of Mohamed Wage from Gambisara, Upper River region. After decades of living in the U.S., he now runs a mega store in the heart of New York.
Right now, we're doing business here. We're doing business with a lot of country people. In Guinea, Gambia, Senegal, Mali, Mauritania, all over the world. So we're selling a lot of solar equipment here. We're trying to build it business our country. That's what we're trying to do that.
With 6 other Gambians at the Gambisara Electronics, Mr. Wage thinks his efforts are having a trickle-down effect on his country of birth.
We support each other here. So that's why a lot of Senegalese, they have a business in the United States, America. We are Gambian too, but a lot of Gambians here, they have a business. We're trying to support ourselves, support our country. That's what we do here.
Esa Wage, who has been living in the United States for some 23 years, was economical inwards, but he sounded so upbeat about the developments that are taking shape back home.
Every year I go to Gambia and come. So Alhamdulillah, what I see in Gambia, that makes me very, very, very proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. What I go to Gambia every year, what I see there, Alhamdulillah. I thank everybody. First, I thank you for coming here to make me proud of myself. I thank you, my president, Yahya Jammeh, and I wish him good luck. I wish him a long life.
Not everyone in the U.S. is there to butter his bread only. Men like Salum Jammeh works for the prestigious City Group as vice president of the Debt Accounting Group. For a professional who has been in the United States for 17 years, it is obvious that he must have worked for other big-time companies, such as Time Warner.
I work for Time Warner. Time Warner is like a media company. They own a lot of media outlets like CNN, New York One, HBO, Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, a lot of magazines. So I worked for them for about also 5 years, and prior to that, I was an auditor for Deloitte & Touche. That was just immediately after graduating from college. So I was there for some years also, prior, before joining other corporations.
Commenting on the financial woes that troubled the world in the past few years, the top accountant who intends to return home someday said, banks in the Gambia have a lot to learn from the financially turbulent markets in the West. Formerly of SPARCO and the National Planning Commission, Serigne Fallou Njie now works with the UN Millennium Campaign of the UNDP as Deputy Director in charge of policy. Rewind to his days in the Gambia, Fallou made a name for himself as elections analyst. But what is Serigne Fallou Njie's mission in the U.S.?
Now for us, we're working on the other aspect of it, which is the demand side, working with the citizens, parliamentarians, and others who would keep a check on what is happening. Because the MDGs were a promise to poor people, and it is a promise that needs to be kept. 2015 is fast approaching. We know there are mixed results in different parts of the world, but we need to keep that pressure, on governments, on everybody else, so that that promise made to poor people is realized by 2015. Okay. Well, for me, basically I'm working on policy because they're mainly doing advocacy, but advocacy has to be evidence-based. So my work mainly is on gathering that evidence that they need to engage with governments, with parliamentarians, with everybody else. Say, this is the status of the MDGs, these are the problems we're encountering, these are the suggestions, and on that basis be able to engage and negotiate with policymakers, local government authorities, etc., to put more emphasis on MDGs achievement by 2015.
Despite the distance and the differences in what they do, all the people we met have pledged their willingness to contribute to the social and economic advancement of the Gambia, their country of birth. As to how soon they will pack bag and baggage for the motherland, only time will provide the answers. Famara Fofana, Grts.
The Combo North community of Latria recently welcomed a development that will, in the long run, spare their children the trouble of covering a distance of about 3 kilometers just to go to school. Louis Mendy witnessed the laying of the foundation of the school sponsored by the Jensen family of the Netherlands, and he now tells us more.
Latria can't help but rejoice as their dreams continue to turn into reality with each year that passes. In year 2001 and 2004, it was the inauguration of this nursery school and a health post respectively, courtesy of these Dutch philanthropists whose motto is hands together.